All right, all right, all right. What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Sayna Win, and I'm back again. I may be your friend, I may be your foe, I don't know. But all I know is that I'm happy to be here and I have another amazing guest. A little blast from my past. I haven't talked. We were talking off a little behind the scenes about how we haven't really talked or seen each other except on Facebook in about 20 years. So I'm just like, damn, let's talk because she is doing some amazing things. And Corian, please go ahead and introduce yourself to your cousins out there in the world, and we'll get started.
Hi, hi, hi. Well, as a lot of people will know me or might know me, my name is Miss Corey Baby on Instagram. But for everyone who knows me as the Blast from the Past, my name is Corian Love. I reside in Memphis, Tennessee, and I am a fitness coach who is also an advocate of mental health. It's a big part of what I do. I am owner of a black gym here. It's Control Movements, which is a calisthenics gym. I also teach yoga, and I do HIIT and strength training, a lot of core strengthening, like it's my baby. So I'm very, very honored to be a Black woman who's an entrepreneur in Memphis in the fitness field. So thank you for having me. I'm happy to be
Uh,
here.
Well, I am so happy to have you here because I kind of been fangirling or just watching you on Facebook and just seeing you and championing you, and because I've seen you with your weight loss journey, your fitness journey,
Yeah.
your mental health journey, and I was like, and I didn't know you opened a gym until recently. I was like, oh, I gotta
Mhm.
talk to you and
Yeah.
see how do you let's just let and reason why this podcast is called co-signs and tangents because one, I love affirming my people. So we're gonna co-sign, we're gonna go on some tangents, so let's just rock and roll.
Let's go. Let's
So I
go.
want to first start off with, how are you doing mentally, because you talked about mental health and that's one of my favorite subjects.
Mentally, like I tell my clients, I am constantly putting my best foot forward because as soon as you open your eyes and you put your feet to the ground, the universe has tests for you. And I feel like the best and honest thing that I can say is I'm doing my best. Like I'm not bad.
Mhm.
I'm not good. Like right now, I'm extremely happy because the day was amazing. So I'll take that as a win.
Mhm.
And tomorrow isn't here yet. So I'm not going to dread it. I'm not looking like, well, I'm okay. I'm living in the moment. But no, like mentally, I'm okay because I've had those times in my life where I was extremely down. So you get
Mhm.
to see where the highs look and,
Yeah.
and what they look like. So for me right now, mentally, like I'm really, really good. Like I'm extremely happy. I'm happy for what's to come. I'm
Mhm.
excited about what's next. Because I remember when I wasn't mentally okay. So
Mhm.
to be asked that question now, and I appreciate you for asking, thanks.
Of
I'm
course.
really, really, really good. And that is a great thing to say because I remember when I wasn't.
Yeah, and I love that you're vulnerable with that, and that's something I feel like as Black women and also Memphians, I love to see it because if you're from Memphis, you know Memphis is a hard place,
Oh,
and
yeah. And they
being
hard on you.
vulnerable. And so being here and being vulnerable sometimes is hard because you can't let everybody in. But so how
Yes.
has that been, like, just growing, like, with your opening of your gym and being more vulnerable about your mental health? So what kind of places have that taken you so far, like, since you started opening
Um,
yourself up? And
Highs and lows, because part of being open is allowing women to know that you're not alone.
mm,
There are other women who share the same mental space as you. There are other women who are trying to make it throughout the day. There are other women who look at themselves and they hate themselves. And then you have some women who they are just super excited about giving someone that joy and they're full of energy, or they might be manic and it's kind of like they need to find a balance because sometimes when they crash, it's really, really a low crash. So that's why I
mm,
say highs and lows, because it's awesome to see my clients when they're at a high and they're like, I'm seeing my results, Coco, I'm so happy, I'm so proud. But then there are times when something happens, there's a death or life happens, I say it,
mhm,
and they fall backwards. I don't say it as in like you fail yourself. I just say you kind of like you take a step backwards and you fall into the comfortable things that like if it's drinking or like eating for comfortability, and then instantly your body's like, wait, this is something that we haven't done in a while, and that weight shows immediately, be it in bloat or being in a mental way of you're not supposed to do that. So now you're being hard on yourself, and now you're talking to yourself more harshly.
Mm-hmm.
So even when they call me with that, that's a dump of energy into me,
Mm,
So I have to find ways of finding balance of you got this along with how do I recharge myself also. And I think a lot of people don't take that into accountability in the fitness world of we give so much energy to our clients. We give so much of that. You can do it that a lot of times we are slacking on our workouts or because we're training and programming, writing so much into the day for other people, we forget to do right by ourselves.
mm,
So I've had to find the balance of yes, I'm creating my own brand and I'm launching my business, but I still also have to find time for me.
mm,
I'm still a gym rat. I still have my goals. I still have things that I want to accomplish for myself while also being there for my clients. So that's why I say it's highs and lows because
mm-hmm.
I try to show my clients that I am human also. The same
Right.
way that you might be mean to yourself, in that moment, I give it a day, give it that moment. Like,
Mm,
hear what you're saying, go focus, talk to yourself in the mirror if you have to. If not, close your eyes and ground yourself in that moment and meditate and comfort whatever that harshness is and let it know, hey, we might have messed up.
right.
We got
Let me
this.
ask you. Well, let me ask you this, because like you brought up like the balance and this. It sounds like you working on setting those boundaries with yourself and your clients. Is there a
Hmm.
big difference? So do you? And this is kind of a two part, and one I'm going to get back to one part. So do
Go
you
ahead,
train
hit it, hit
both?
it.
Yeah. Do you train both men and women?
I do.
Okay. All right. So then with just going back to the boundaries. So one question I had about that is like, so how has it been setting those boundaries with your clients? Like, has it been difficult or has it been harder to set your boundaries with yourself when it comes to, creating that balance when you're working, when
It
you're
was
helping train people?
It was actually harder of creating the balance with myself because I started at another Black owned gym. And I
Okay.
thank God for God Body and everything that it taught me because I started there as a client and I was
Right.
able to tell the owner, hey, I think I really like what this is. I think I like helping and motivating people because I was helping the people in my class. Like I literally was like, I started at the very bottom and then I was mediocre and then I advanced and it was like, you know what, this is really, really fun to me. Like, I think I want to get into this. And he was like, okay, let's try you out and let's see how you do with the basics and learning. And I thank him for allowing me to get my feet wet there. So the boundary setting started there for clients because he has a protocol of this is how far we go
Mm,
and this is where it cuts off and these are your after hours. As
okay.
I got into business for myself, and more of the mental aspect came into play versus of this is where it cuts off. Now it's let me help you learn your triggers and other things of like foods and habits to help to eliminate. It was more of I'm investing so much over here. I forgot about me. That literally was a part for me. Like that honestly
Mhm.
happened. That's why I said it was hard for me to set boundaries for myself because I'm here at the every beck and call, which is not a
Mhm.
bad thing. I love it all to death because it's really helped people show that with love means just that.
Right. Yeah. And so when you
But
were, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, but I had to understand that I still had to have time for me. That's all.
Okay, got you. And that makes sense because I feel like, do you think that's, I feel like that's because I've been hanging out with one of my good friends, and we've been talking about just how different men and women do things, for lack of a better term,
It's a very big
and
difference.
how, right, it's just how women seem to be a little bit more anticipatory of people's needs
Yeah.
than like proactive, and we could just see it. So do you find there's like a big difference when you're training a man versus a woman and setting those boundaries with a man versus a woman,
I,
or
I
like?
think I kind of grew up with all boys. No, kind of. I'm the oldest of a lot of boy cousins. So when it comes and at God Body, I started with male clients and I started with a male trainer. So me setting boundaries, men versus women, that's not hard at all. Simply because as soon as we do the consultation, it's understood this is what is going to be XYZ. This is what's allowed. These are the hours. Here we are. This is what you have. This is your time slot. Yes, I work for you, but this is when I'm not available and I stand on it. And I think that was the main thing of letting them know I stand on that.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
and so setting boundaries, that's not the hard thing because usually after I finish a workout, they want to be done with me anyway. There's no more talking. They have nothing to say to me. Um, they
He's
are
like, I'm done
very
with
happy to not
this.
talk to me until the next day.
Okay.
So that part is really really easy. It's the fact that they know I'm gonna text them in the morning. They know I'm gonna set up their time for the day because life happens, and I want you to see that I do work for you and I'm flexible. So that's what I mean. Like it's in there. It's in the groundwork.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because I've learned as a person who's been a manager and been in other businesses, what you allow will continue. So if you
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and let someone know, here's what I expect of you, here's what I allow, here's what I don't allow, and then you put your foot down, you really won't have a hard time. Now, clients are gonna definitely tell you doing a workout what they're not gonna do. Like they're gonna that's
Mm-hmm.
just gonna happen. Like, nah, Coco, I can't and I can't stand the word can't. And I know I just used a double negative there. However, I
No
tell my
judgment.
clients, you live in a white man's world and they tell us what we can't do every day. So it's not that you
Mm.
can't, it's that you're not there yet. Like you get it done every day. You defy the odds every day. And you're gonna let this small workout sit you down and defeat you? No, no, ma'am. No, no, sir. It's not that you can't, it's that you're not there yet. So when I tell my clients we have to rewire you mentally, it's in every shape, form, and aspect of the way you talk to yourself. Because mentally, even just saying I can't is a spell. You just put a boundary on yourself.
Mm. I like that. I like how you put that because and you're right because I know that's one thing I've learned a lot about that negative self talk. That negative self talk will drive you further into the ground faster than anybody else's talk will do.
Than anybody else. We are our own worst
Mhm.
enemy. And I had to understand that in the highest form because when I was my highest weight, which is around 260, I was my worst enemy. I could not
Mhm.
stand looking at myself. I hated seeing myself dry off. I couldn't stand seeing myself walk past a mirror. Everything fit horribly. And even though I knew how to dress to where I could hide my flaws and my roles, it still
Mhm.
didn't matter that I was 260 and my diet was horrible. My body was hurting and I could not figure out at that time when I was younger, which is crazy. This was in my 20s.
Mm.
And now I'm in my 30s. I'm 37 doing handstands and doing pull-ups. And it's just crazy because the rewiring literally started mentally.
Mhm. And that's one thing I used to see you do. I said, "Okay, bitch, let's go."
And
Because
is
it's
you
like,
see me out here trying. Not like outside. But
right,
no,
I'm
I
not doing
really
that shit. I know you.
because they tell us so much what we can't do.
Mhm.
We hear can't all the time. And the workout world is monopolized by Anglo-Saxons. So to see a black woman come in and is like, okay, I'm going to do everything they say we can't do. I'm going to do it at this weight that they say we can't do. I'm going to show them that your BMI isn't my BMI. We don't even have the same density in our makeup. So don't put me in the same box as someone else. And
Girl.
me learning how to love me no matter what shape, form, or fashion was something that I just wanted to pass on to everyone. Like you
Yeah.
might not love you right now, but that's because you dislike what you look like. And I understand that. It's okay. Body dysmorphia is real. The way we look and talk to ourselves is real. And nobody
Mhm.
wants to say it out loud because we're taught that that's bad. The
Yep.
biggest taboo is that we're not supposed to be negative. Being negative or being this way or saying dark things, that's bad. And I need to tell each and every person that we are born of light and dark. Every single person has to find that balance of themselves. And you
Mhm.
have to learn how to use your bad to power that ass right on to good. So
Girl,
you
you
don't
ain't
like the way
never.
you look. So you don't like the way you eat stuff. So okay, let's change it. If you don't
Right.
like it so much, do something about it.
And it's hard because you did mention something that I love to talk about, because I do think that everything that is wrong in America and in really Western civilization is the ideal that white is supreme.
It
And I
is.
know that, and it's so ridiculous. Like, I'm just like, how do y'all, how, like, why and
It's
what?
how we're programmed. We are systematically programmed from the jump. And that's
Mhm.
another part of what I want to tell people, and even what I offer in my classes. Like, we are programmed, number one, to dislike each other as a people. Like, it
Mhm.
starts from a lot of the rewiring. Like, when I say rewire, I mean every single thing. The way you look at yourself, the way you read, the way you look at your neighbor, the way you look at your partner, like everything, like, because everything is a trigger when it comes to weight loss.
It is.
My
Well, let me
my
ask you.
person getting on my nerves, my job getting on my nerves, everything.
Hmm. Well, let me ask you about some of the misconceptions of white supremacy in the workout space, because that's the
Mhm,
one thing I love about like TikTok and stuff. Because
mhm.
I see more types of bodies doing things. Like, I see a
Yes,
lot of bigger women, plus size women, skinny women lifting weight, running on that little
yes.
treadmill that with that curve in it. I don't know what it's called, but you can let me know.
The incline,
And
we getting honey.
yeah, and I was like, and I didn't realize how much our TV and our things told a lot of us who had bigger bodies that we can only be funny, we can only
Yep.
be
You got to
fuck
be
that's
the fat funny
pretty.
girl. Yep.
Yep, fuck
You got
is
to be the
pretty, fuck
sad
like
one, the
you're
one that's
good.
sorrowful.
Yes, and dress like you in a burlap sack. And then I love seeing women just owning their bodies and shutting down a lot of the patriarchal and white supremacist ideas of beauty. So, like,
Yeah.
what are some of the things, like, just so we can make sure we educate everybody about how white supremacy is super involved in weight loss. I know with the BMI, I remember reading this. I don't know if you can educate me on this, but how the BMI is basically like a racist.
It's like
Because
your
it's
weight, and it's yeah, because okay, so let's start at the very beginning. We can start all the way down to the machines when you go into the gym.
yeah.
I love that I have my own gym that I offer to people of color, and I mean, it doesn't matter if you're white. I hate to say it that way, but if you want to work out with me, you can work out with me. But even when I take my heavier people to the gym, the machines aren't built for them. The machines are built for the skinny people that's already in shape, which makes no sense.
Mm,
Like, there are certain machines where my heavier clients, they are extremely uncomfortable on.
mm,
And it's like, okay, well, we can't use that. So luckily I know how to use body weight to mimic this machine. But even when you look at the pictures in the gym, there are already white
mm,
people that's in shape.
that's right. I really, and it's always just, and it's also always a white man,
Always. Or
and
it's a white lady.
always, yeah, white man, white
Like,
lady with that long ass
and
brown ponytail
even
every
yeah,
time.
and even if you see a black person, they're usually like holding a water bottle. They're not doing an active picture. Like, even the
Mm,
Caucasian European Anglo-Saxons are like jumping, or they're squatting, or they're stretching, and then you'll see a picture of us and we're holding a bottle. So even then it's still implied, like, you ain't here to work the fuck out. You here to drink this water and look cool. um,
you here to look up something and pick up some ass.
here to look up a move and not do this shit. You're here for
Right.
Zumba. Um, you're here for
Zumba.
Zumba. But even then, you don't feel included. There's no inclusive.
Yeah.
Even when
Mm-hmm.
you look at the Peloton commercials, even when you look at Hot Works, you're not seeing people of your demographic. You're not saying like, yeah, that's something I want to go try. That person looks just like me. And I've had people be like, well, why haven't you like gotten back down to your smaller size? I was able to lose over 100 pounds. I got down like to 157, the
Mm-hmm.
smallest I've ever been in my life. Yay, I did it. Whoop de doo. However, I didn't look like the woman that I was training. So how can you believe that I know the pain in this workout, sis? Okay, bet I'm gonna get down here and do it with you.
Yeah.
So that became my stick, because even when you look at the classes, even the ones online, they're telling you, yeah, 5 more reps, you got this, you can do it. But there's no one that's getting down there with you. They don't want to be next to you. They don't want to even breathe your air. They're just gonna motivate you from a distance, and that's not our village. We Black people, we're hands on.
Yeah.
Even when
We
it comes
we're
to
very communal.
we let me help you, let me push that, yeah, let me get down there with you. Even when you think about Black trainers, think about it. They used to get right in your face. They get right there in the shit box with you. They get right down on the ground. Like, let's
That's true.
go.
Cause like the best trainer I had, he was a black man, and I lost the most weight and got more physically in fit with him because he would do it with me. Like he wouldn't push, he wouldn't pull, he'll be right next door next to me
Right
just doing
beside
it
you.
with me.
Yeah, like let's do it
And
with you versus me being on a headset in front of class saying, come on, guys, 30 more seconds.
mm-hmm. What like do what has been the like most rewarding moment as a trainer for you so far? Like well one, how long have you been been a trainer? And what is one of the most rewarding moments that you've had so far?
So I've only been in business for myself for 1 year. I have
Awesome.
been a trainer for 3 years in all. I did 2 years at God Body, 1 year on my own. This is my first year alone.
Mm-hmm.
And the most rewarding thing ever has been seeing the results by doing it my way. Holy shit,
Okay.
Batman. This is a male dominated sport, ladies and gentlemen, and they will tell you all day long, left and right, up and down, that shit ain't correct.
Mm,
That out the box shit, that this, that, it ain't correct. And for so long, not to put down anyone, because again, I thank everyone who's invested in me. I felt crazy. Like,
mm-hmm.
nah, man, it's just not gonna work. That move is too unorthodox, or that combination is too crazy. And then I get into my own space where there's no one watching over me, there's no one hovering me. I'm allowed to create. I'm allowed to put all my quirkiness and who I am to good use. And holy shit, Batman, it works. Like it worked. Like oh, it
Yes.
worked. Like I can't say that big enough. Like I'm trying to yell in this damn complex of people, but it worked. Like I
Well,
got to see, they get to see, and it was a lot of people who actually came from the original gym who were stuck. They weren't getting results anymore. They were about to quit. They were tired. They were fed up. They were like, "Why am I paying this money? I'm not moving." And within 4 weeks of them just trusting me, of doing it my way, I mean, like phenomenal results,
mm,
phenomenal. And it was like, okay, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but
toot toot.
all right, bitch, we on something. So, and that was the greatest thing to see that no matter what, if you really believe in something, if you really believe in your own way, if you really think that, hey, I might have something, man, trust that shit. Trust it
Mm-hmm.
and rock with it. Don't let anyone dim your light just because it is too bright.
Mm. Cause I'm like, I like there's this one quote on Facebook or Instagram. They like, if somebody thinks you're too much, you need to tell somebody to go find less. And I was like, word, word.
Yeah, like if someone can't understand how dope you are, let somebody else get high off you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just get you if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen, honey.
To get out of it. And my thing is, I never wanted to make it seem like that I was better than anyone because I'm not. I wouldn't be where I am had it not been for the teachers and the people that invested in me. But it was
Yeah.
kind of like, hey, I got some ideas that I want to share with you, and I think they might be amazing. And it was kind of like when you have that parent that's like, nah, man, that shit ain't gonna fly.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, all right. And then you have your clients that are telling you like you have to believe in yourself. Like I honestly would not be where I am if it wasn't for the clients who were like, you have to trust yourself. Like you need to do this. Your children need you to do this. Your financial stability needs you to do this. Like you have to take that first step. And it was crazy scary. It
Mm-hmm.
was like, what if I fail and everyone's right? And everyone
Right.
does that again. That's that negative talk. And
Yeah.
that's why I try to tell people it's not like I don't have it. I do. I just have found really great coping mechanisms on how to be like, hey, that's fear. It's not real. We create it in our head. We breathe life into it, and we can either make it bigger or we can snuff it out by depriving it oxygen.
I love that. I love that. Well, let me ask you this. What was can you tell us some of the things that you realized that you did differently that was different from how you were originally taught? Just out of
Uh,
curiosity, because
hell
I
yeah.
saw a video.
The way I did my cardio.
Oh, okay.
Women are different when it comes to the way they eat, when they kind of stress triggers. I learned
Mm,
a lot of my ladies' hormonal levels, a lot of their gut health. It was all about the reboot, man. It was more of like really getting a healthy look from the inside out and then teaching them how to do it without me. I don't want my clients to be dependent on me. I want you to be independent. I want you to take from me, learn, and leave. And I say that with love. Again, that's my brand.
yeah,
But
love is just.
It's like it's literally like a mama bird that's trying to teach you how to be the best version of you can be, and now you have the wings and go. So a lot of it was really getting them to understand. I know that you've been told that you can have this cheat day, but you can't. I know
Mm.
that you've been told that you need to eat less, but you don't need to. You actually need to eat more. I know that you've been told that caloric intake doesn't matter. Well, it does. I know that you've been told that gut health doesn't matter. Well, it does. And then it was about finding the right cardio amount for said client, because women, we produce cortisol. I mean,
Right.
everyone produces cortisol, but if we produce a high amount after so many minutes of cortisol, I mean, after so many minutes of cardio, it becomes a fat block. We're not burning no more fat. We're storing it.
Oh, did not know that.
It literally became, it was like, as soon as I figured out how to put the things into motion of what I was reading when it came to how to eat, how to drink, and how to be better, it just worked. Everybody's different, and you can't just throw the same program at everybody. It's not that way. That
Yeah.
was, again, when I said I had to do the boundaries for myself, because you get so invested trying to make a program for everyone that I had to find a way to make a general program and then allow myself to tweak it for each client versus going so in depth for each client.
That's amazing, because I never heard about the cardio and the cortisol. Like, I always knew about the hormones and then doing the reboot. That sounds interesting. Like, because I remember seeing a video, because I get all my education from TikTok sometimes, a lot
Right?
of times.
Come on, TikTok.
But
Come on, TikTok, boss.
right. So but one lady talked about how it's just different. She been working with Black women's bodies, and how she had to do it differently. And
Yes.
so is that why you had to figure out like the cortisol and the cardio, because of Black
Yes.
women, we metabolize things so much differently, or
Yes, and we really do, and a lot of it is that our metabolism is slow. Like, if you start asking any of your friends how often they eat, they're probably gonna tell you like once a day, which is
yeah.
not good. Um,
Okay.
it's not. Any trainer is gonna tell you that's it's not what we want to hear.
Okay.
We want you to wake up, drink water, get some green tea, start giving nutrients to your body, start to nourish your body as soon as you wake up, because your organs are working. So
Okay.
now, even if you're doing intermediate fasting, they still say to plenish the body with fluid. Like, even
Okay.
if I don't eat until 11, like, let's say I wake up at like 5 a.m., which is a normal day for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be extremely hungry for like solid food. So the way that I combat that is I have like a smoothie, or I have enriched water, but I'm constantly drinking, or I have tea. I'm constantly drinking until the 11 o'clock hour, when I can finally eat from 11 to 4. That's
Okay.
if I'm doing intermediate fasting. If I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing intermediate fasting, then as soon as I wake up in the morning at 5 a.m., I'm having an apple or a banana. I'm jump starting my metabolism.
Okay.
And the reason you want to jumpstart your metabolism is because you want your body to say, hey, we're burning fat all day long. We are not storing fat. We're not worried about when we're going to have our next meal, because we know that it's coming. When you deprive your body of nutrients, and it's going to store fat. And for Black women, it's going to store in our neck, in our back, in our arms, in our legs, and in the
Mm.
areas that we really don't want, in our stomach, in the fupa. So the moment that you start to give your body nutrients that early in the morning, is like, hey, now we're doing something different. I like this. And then you have a workout, say like 9 o'clock or 10 a.m. And then your body's like, okay, we need to eat again. That's when you do either your protein shake, or, you do a small salad. Like, it doesn't have to be large meals. And then let's say 2 o'clock rolls around. I tell my clients, give me some fruit, give me some grapes, give me some nuts. I'm not asking you to overstuff yourself. I'm just asking you to get your body to wake up and get the metabolism moving, because I need it to understand we're burning fat all day, baby.
So that's how that works. Girl, I'm ever taking
Yes,
notes
ma'am.
for real, even though I'm recording it, but still.
No, darling, that is fine. Utilize,
Mhm.
because I believe Black health is wealth. And we
Yeah.
also have to start taking in time, that we need time to meditate. We need time for grounding. We need time for self reflection, especially when the day goes left. And sometimes it's as soon as we wake up. There are people who step out their house and they're in a car accident.
Oh, yeah.
Without certain
I've,
coping mechanisms, you don't know how to reset. And that's one thing that I try to offer my clients also. I teach them that you need to learn you. You need to learn you in different situations, because the one thing that you can control are your reactions. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if
Well,
you can stand within a storm and focus and keep yourself balanced, again, there's that balance word, then you'll
mhm,
start to learn how to take that discipline into your weight loss journey, into your life with your mate, into your work environment. It transfers into
mhm.
different areas of your life.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask you this, like, because I know meditation. Every time I think Black people we're getting better at more alternative ways of thinking. So you mentioned meditation and grounding. W- When did you start employing those techniques into your life for your mental health? And I'm assuming you do that the same in your business. So how has that helped with you and helped shape for your clients?
All right, you ready to go down this rabbit hole?
Bitch, let's go. I'm gonna throw the notepad down so I can focus.
All right. I had twins at
Mhm,
21 in 2007, and they do not teach you about postpartum depression and how hard and severe
mhm.
it will hit you. And
Yeah.
I was breastfeeding, which means that I did not also understand that my milk is produced by the food that I consume. And at this time, again in 2007, in the heart of North Memphis, it is
What's up?
not
Oh,
being talked about. It's not. It's just not. Mental health and mother and the balance of hormones is not being talked about. So postpartum came to say hi to me
mhm,
and it resided with me for a while. And I had a therapist and it wasn't working. And I say that in the greatest form of fashion because I'm not bipolar type one. Yeah, that's why I said let's go down this rabbit hole. I'm
okay,
type two. So I
okay,
don't do depression and anxiety. I am hypermanic. I am rage. I am anger personified.
oh wow,
And the way I discovered this was I had a mental breakdown. Um, the person that I was engaged to, I found out was cheating on me. And this is during postpartum. And
mm,
I just stepped right outside myself. I was just like, you know what? This is entirely too much. And I just stepped right outside of myself. And I remember seeing a commercial for Lakeside.
mm,
And I was like, I can't stop crying. Like, I think I'm trying to do everything right. It's kind of like when you know you do everything different for somebody and it still like backfires. Like, it's like, why did I even do this way if I'm still gonna get shit on?
oh,
And
and it's
and
usually by the
so
people you
I
love the most.
yeah, and here I am with these kids, and all they want is their mom, and it's like everything was so loud, and I mean everything was so loud. And that's the first time I think I experienced depression, and everything was so loud. And so I called my mother and my auntie, and I told them what happened. I told them how I found out that he was cheating on me, and I was like, I can't stop crying, like I can't even be a parent, like I think I need help. And so my goal was to go to Lakeside and get outpatient
Mhm.
therapy. That was my goal. Okay. Um, Me being honest, John, I told too much of the truth, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna commit you,"
Oh, wow,
and they
word.
were like, "And we're gonna commit you today."
Oh wow. So was it like the 72-hour hold, or was it,
Oh
you
no,
know?
ma'am. They told my mother that I was gonna be there for a month and a half.
Oh wow, because of the results from
Everything
the mental
from
breakdown.
like molestation, from rape, from
Mm,
suicide attempts, from domestic violence relationships, from issues within the family. Like I was like, well, if we here, baby, I got a lot to talk about. I got some things to go. And
right. I need a
they
one-stop
were like,
shop. I need the Walmart
they
of mental health services.
yeah,
Thank
because they was like everything I need, my insurance covers as long as I'm here. Like every doctor is here.
you.
And lo and behold, because I was so honest, I never went on suicide watch, even though I was there for suicide
Mhm,
attempts. Like
mhm,
I went upstairs and articulated everything. I
mhm.
ended up actually being there for 6 days. My doctor signed me out because I participated in everything. I did the group, I did the
Mhm,
bipolar spectrum, I did hypnosis, I did every single thing because when I got there, I realized I wasn't crazy.
mm.
I'm different. I'm not
Different. And
crazy.
mental illness is not crazy. You just your brain has been built differently.
differently. And that was a thing because I actually was watching people like dig into their skin, and people who were like talking to the other people in the room that we couldn't see.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like they tell you don't speak about it. Like there was a white lady who was talking to her psychiatrist who was invisible about the Negroes in the room.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Racism.
So that's why I was like, you know what? I fucked up. I fucked up. I do not belong here.
Right. I'm gonna do
So
all the things.
get the fuck up out of here. So yeah, I did everything. I was happy to participate in the bipolar spectrum because that's when I learned and found out that I was type 2,
Mhm.
not type 1. And then I learned my seasons. I learned my triggers. I learned when we have episodes. I learned what our episodes look like. I learned our coping mechanisms. I was able to talk to other bipolar type 2 people. I learned that we can't take bipolar medicine because it's for depression. Like this made so
Mhm.
much sense for why it wasn't working for me. And I kept feeling like everyone tried to make me seem crazy. So due to the fact that I never wanted anyone to commit themselves to a hospital, I was like,
Mhm.
let me take everything that I've learned here and apply it to what I want to do with my goals. Because the end game is to be a doctor. My end game is to be a sexual psychiatrist. Like I want to help the people who have been raped, the people that I got to see in Lakeside, who haven't found peace within themselves because of what happened.
Yeah.
Like I
Um,
want to be there for the people that have fetishes, who feel awkward. Like it's a big spectrum in my world for what I want to go to. But being there showed me exactly how alone Black people feel when it comes to
mm,
mental health.
girl, you have to
Um,
get emotional because I feel you. It's different.
and
It's different.
it's different. And a lot of people that were there, they were suicidal because they tried to tell their family members, I
Mm,
need help. And they said, no one understood me.
mm,
And for me, I wanted to take everything those doctors taught me, from coloring to meditation to the breathing to the grounding, because they saw that I was about that. Like I wasn't gonna be like, nah, I'm this, I don't want to do that shit. Nah, fuck
that's
that.
a
You
white
say I
girl
do what
shit.
now? Yeah, no, 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 no. I've been about this life anyway. I always knew I liked having my feet on the ground. Tell me why.
Yeah.
So tell me why I like to walk barefoot. Tell me why this has
Mhm.
always mattered to me to have my feet to the ground. Tell me why this has always been connected to me. So when I came home, tapping into my spirituality and tapping into the singing bowls and to meditation and to coloring and finding how to release my manic energy in a
Mm,
safe way was very, very important, because the one thing that I found out is I'm never going back to Lakeside. I have been 10 years going on 11 of never the fuck going back. And
mm.
I practice everything they taught me every day to never go back.
Yes.
And
Wow.
because of that, I have to teach people that you can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
You have it in you, but because your other self is so loud, you're being so mean to yourself, you don't even know how to speak love into yourself. You're so mad at yourself, you're so disappointed with yourself. And I tell my clients, go write a letter to yourself about how you failed you. If you're that
Mm-hmm.
mad at you, tell you how you failed you. Because when I had to come out of a domestic violence relationship that my children saw, the first thing I journaled was how I failed myself as a mother.
Mm.
Because I needed to admit that in order to understand that my kids are going to need therapy. My kids are in therapy.
That's
And I
beautiful.
say that with a badge of honor because, again, they
Yes.
saw me come out of a domestic violence relationship that I don't want them to feel has to be swept under the rug. Like, I
Exactly.
need you to know that you are a young little person and your emotions are valid and they are big. Your world is
Mm.
big as hell.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of parents don't honor their kids, because I caught myself, and this goes back to working at God Body. I know I'm jumping around, but there was a person that
It's
drove into the
okay.
gym when I worked there.
I saw
And
that.
when
They
the
hurt your ankle and stuff, right? And your knee.
yeah, they cut my leg right on open. The first
Ooh.
time I ever got stitches. And that caused me to have horrible PTSD, horrible anxiety. The first time I ever experienced anxiety, the first time I ever experienced hearing a noise and being transported back into the accident. Like I couldn't
Mm.
stand hearing people re-rack weights. I couldn't handle hearing the tire flip. My safe haven was now my place of trauma.
Yeah, that's that. Oh wow, yeah, that's a good point.
So I remember that being the lesson because I caught myself diminishing my daughter's day.
Ooh,
She was trying to tell me how hard her day was. And I was
mm-hmm,
like, well, you ain't got shit on me.
mm,
And I
mm-hmm.
was like, damn, you know what? After almost dying, tell me about your day, baby. Tell me. Like, I'm sorry for saying that. Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of parents, we don't realize that even if we don't say it, our face shows it. Like, we'll roll our eyes, like, oh, like you think
Mm-hmm.
your day was hard.
Let me tell you
So
about mine. Be like,
let me tell you about
oh,
my day.
okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
that takes me back as we go full circle to why I needed my children to feel that their day, their opinions were important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
Because
can I?
it took me to almost dying to realize that I need to value every single thought they have because I almost missed them for the rest, that
Mm-hmm.
traumatic dark thought of I almost wasn't here.
Yeah, and I feel you because I've been there because I had that moment in 2020 when I was caregiving for my mom when she got sick, and I was like, maybe I
Mhm.
need to go to like I didn't know anything about like 72-hour holds. I just heard. I said maybe that's what I'll do because I just don't feel right. Like I would have the.
Yeah.
You said you stepped out of yourself, and I was like, because I would have the times where I would disassociate, and like my dreams
Mhm.
would be so real that I didn't know if
So
that
live,
was
yeah.
if
Did it.
if that was a dream or not. So I was like, I don't think I'm right, y'all. Like, and I don't, and like I would sleep. And I later found out that was just called passive suicidal ideations, where
Mhm.
if I don't wake up, I'm cool, I'm Gucci, I'd be in better places. And I was like, and when I started having those thoughts, I was like, yeah, that's not right because that wasn't how I was.
Yeah.
And I was like, and so I didn't go, but my cousins, she shout out to her, Jen. She said that's not what you think it is. I was like, what do you mean? She said, if you go there, you're gonna be with people who have, like you said, talking to people with really, really,
Yeah.
really
Within, yeah,
awful
it's real.
stories. And so I was like, okay, that's when I took time. I said, okay, I need to take some FMLA. I need to get my shit together, got
Yeah.
my therapy, and I haven't been looking back since. Got on the right drug regimen and just been
Yeah.
going forward and trying to be positive. So I'm so thankful for you sharing this story. It's so powerful.
Yeah,
I wanted
I
to ask
congratulate
you.
you on making sure that you stay focused and stay taking care of yourself because a lot of people don't get that applaud. Like,
Mhm.
congratulations for that, and I'm very very proud of you for knowing that and accepting that and honoring yourself in that manner to even talk about it. Also, so yes, snap to you.
Thank you, girl. Same you. Vice versa. Cosine, tangent,
Oh, go
square.
back, go back,
Yeah,
yay!
right. But I wanted to ask you because I was just curious because like since we're jumping all over the place, because like did you always know you were on the bipolar spectrum or did you find out when you were older? Because I know just so people know, me and Corian go way back. We went to
Go
we
back.
went to elementary together, right?
Yep, yep,
Huh?
yep. Yes,
We go
yes.
way back. So like, did you know that you were? Or did you know when you were
Um,
kids bipolar or?
I knew that my family was different. I'll say it like
Mm,
that. We have had certain family members who have suffered from bipolar episodes and who
mm,
have been hospitalized. So I knew that I was different. I did not know in high school that I was bipolar type 2, even though it does make a lot of sense for times when I was extremely angry or times when, I wasn't myself or if I could have a mood swing or and I tried to keep it together and stay bubbly even then because I had singing.
mm,
I had choir. So
yeah.
choir was a great balance. But I remember when my grandfather died going into my senior year, um, that was the first time I remember just not being happy. Like
Because
even and I'm listening, boo. What's that?
oh no, I'm listening. Go ahead.
It was like even after, what happened to me as a kid with like the rape and stuff, like that made me angry because I felt like I told people and nobody heard me, but I didn't know that, it had got blacked out. Like my mom felt like she was a failure, so she kind of like blacked that out until she read it in my journey, well, in my journal. So that's another story. Um,
Oh, wow.
but when my grandfather died when I was in high school, that was the first time where nothing was okay. Like not even singing. Like I even got out of Overton choir. Like I was like, I'm done. Like I just want to do the bare minimum and go home. Like it all of a sudden it became like a 215 day. So I was
Yeah.
shocked to win like, most talented and who's who and all that, because come my senior year, I had stopped singing. Like
Mm.
I had
They
lost my
missed you.
reason to
Mm.
sing. So, but it was nice for people to be like, nah, girl, we see you. We know who you are. You sing in the hallways. You ain't, because I had never performed in any of the shows. Like I never done Miss OHS, or I had never done any of the talent shows. So for me to be like in the Hall of Fame for 2004, it was kind of like, thanks. But it was honestly because I didn't know it then, but I was a
Mhm.
people person then.
Yeah.
Like I never felt like I was this popular to where I couldn't talk to this person, or I was so, talented to where I couldn't hang out with this crowd of people. And I'm like, no, fuck that. You like anime? I like anime. You like running? I
Yep.
like running. Like you
And
like
that's
country?
what I
I
was
like
gonna say.
country.
Right. And that's what I was gonna say, because like I remember, because like I don't have strong memories. I remember energy from you. I
Yeah.
remember bubbly, like I couldn't give you an exact memory, but I know bubbly, energy, fun, and we got along. That's all I can
Yes.
remember.
Because I know you
And
want to
like,
have a good time. I want to have a good
yes,
time.
and also like growing up like in North Memphis, like we what we call North white people shit. Like we always
Yeah, yeah,
do it
yeah.
the white people shit. The
Because
anime, the
even when I would
movies,
come back home to North Memphis from Overton, they'd be like, "Oh, so you live in Lincoln Park now? The fuck?" And I'm like,
right, all right,
Screw you guys. Music is music, and this shit is bumping." But it was kind of like I still grew up with 3 6 Mafia. Like I can quote Project Pat word for word. Don't play with me. Like it
exactly.
was
Nobody
it
needs
was literally.
nobody is the national
You hear
anthem.
me?
So
Don't you get mad at me because your bra the toes up. But it was like being able to walk into another world at Overton. It was like
yes,
being able to see the art, and because we were the athletes, like it wasn't the football, it wasn't basketball, like it was the
yes,
type of program. Like
yep.
we were the elite guys, and
Hmm.
so for us, it was kind of like we're doing what we love in high school. Like we're in a creative and performing arts. You could turn a corner and it's gonna be people singing and playing guitars, and you can turn another corner and it's gonna be people drawing. And then if you bust this right, it's gonna be people acting and practicing for a play. Like we were living, you know. We were the
Girl,
cheetah
not
girls.
hyena.
I used to have to sing that song so fucking much. Yes, I
Yes,
said people
not
had me singing
girl.
it left and right. We were Taina.
Mhm.
We were the creative and performing arts school.
Yes, and
So
I
it was
remember like
it was
oh, go ahead.
more
Sorry, it
simple.
was.
Nah, you good, you
I
good.
was just I was just saying, like, I remember wanting to go to Overton because I didn't get a chance to go. I went to Northside. And so I remember going to Overton for like a science and something. And I was like, man, I wish I could have gone here because it was so much fun. Because I feel like in those arts and science, like schools like that, they allow kids, especially
To be
black
them
kids, to
goddamn selves.
experience, yes, all the weird shit, like, and like even though Northside
Chemistry.
wasn't as clicky, like when you see a white school, but
Yeah.
you still had
It was
those
like the
like,
Black nerds unite at Overton.
yes, yes. I was
And see,
That was
for
one thing
me,
I wanted to go.
I went to Valentine, so it was like
Right.
Overton as young kids. And after
Mm-hmm.
Valentine, I was supposed to go to Snowden, and I didn't get into Snowden. Thus, Humes Middle School was born, and Humes was
Mm-hmm.
like baby Northside. And so
Right. Baby
I
Northside.
had a choir
Yeah.
teacher I never forget, Miss Gwen. She
Mm-hmm.
heard me singing at Humes and she was like, "We're going to get you into Overton." So she had me practicing and learning the scale. And I get to Overton and I can't sight read to save my life. Please don't put these fucking notes in front of me. However,
Mm-hmm.
I got perfect pitch and my intonation is amazing. So I went and did a transfer audition because I was living off Saxon. And I
Mm-hmm.
auditioned for Mr. Eichels and Dr. Foster, and they was like, "Go ahead, put her in." And I didn't even, I'm thinking I'm an alto because of how deep my voice is. Come to find out, I'm a first soprano.
Okay, I hear you, soprano.
So that's how I got to Overton. And we used to get up at 5 a.m. every morning and drive from North Memphis to East Memphis so I could be there. Bella, focus.
Yeah.
She was like, "I have a new friend. Hello, new friend." She's friendly. She just likes people. Sorry, it's my dog.
No, no worries. I love dogs. Hello. Hello. What's the dog's name?
Bella Blue Dynamite.
Oh Lord, I love when black people name their animals. Bella Blue Dynamite. It's always about 15 names, and they all make sense. No explanation.
Mhm. She got blue eyes and she's part husky. So, boo.
Oh, so
But
cute.
no, man, this has turned into my life, and I want
Mm,
to make sure that my city understands that we can be healthy from the inside out. And that I
Yes.
have to say is the hardest part because no matter what, Memphis is still obese. Like I love my city from the rooter to the tutor. I'm very proud that we are riding the wave and finding how to put more healthy traits into our life.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, we're still one of the top 5 obese cities.
Yeah. Because our
And
food
the
be
main
fire though.
reason is because exactly. But
So
there's nothing wrong with having it in moderation. And that is another thing that I teach. And that comes with mental discipline. Like
yeah.
you have to know that I can have this, but not right now. Like even when I tell my people, if you want to see the best results, we have to shock your system. I'm gonna
Yeah.
like we have to. Now, after you learn and get this discipline, yes, then you can start to incorporate certain things back in, watch the way you eat it, watch how you eat it, and just be mindful of your goals. Like, I'm
Hmm.
not trying to have you out here on a celery and carrot diet. I do want you to enjoy everything that our city has to offer. However, I do want you to be mindful
Hmm.
of you get fatter faster than you lose weight.
Mm. So okay, wait. Explain that. So you get fatter before you lose weight, or it's just
I
easier
hate
to
to
get
say it
you?
because a lot of people have to find what works for them, but it's easy to gain weight. It's very
Oh, it's
easy
so
for you
easy.
to gain weight.
Mm.
It's very easy for you to go on like a binge week of just eating fatty ass foods and watch you gain 15 pounds. However,
Yeah.
if I shock your system within that same week, you think you're going to lose that 15 right away? You might
Yeah.
shit a lot of it out if I put you on a good detox,
Hmm.
but we still have to get that entire 15 plus more off. So
Right.
yeah, it's a lot easier for you to put on the weight versus getting it off, which is why we tell people trust the process. Stay
Hmm.
disciplined, stay motivated.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see results right now, you're losing inches, even if the scale isn't moving, which is a
The
hard
best
thing for
thing
people to
that
understand too. They be like, my clothes is fitting different, but girl, that scale ain't moving. Give it time. Hold
hmm
on.
that's
Because
the
we
best
still
thing I
have
ever
to
did
get your
was
body
getting
to
waist.
understand. You said what, boo?
Hmm. The best thing I did was getting the waist beads because I saw the in like from being able to see my waist
Yeah.
beads go up and down. I was like, oh,
Because
okay.
people don't, they instantly, we want to get on the scale and be like, yes, down 5 pounds. Yes, down 10 pounds. No,
Yeah.
no.
It's
Sometimes,
our
yes,
instant
that does happen.
gratification. Hmm.
But everybody is not the same. And you cannot beat yourself up because someone else's goals and someone else's weight loss journey is not yours.
Exactly.
Honor
And it's
yourself,
it's
love yourself.
and I love the fact that you talk a lot just about how different the women's bodies, especially Black women's bodies, are, because that's the one. Because like we have a lot of stress, and you said the cortisol. I was like, so that has to be like really one of the hardest things to battle is just those stress hormone.
Those stress
Excuse me,
triggers and those
hormones.
hormones, hell yeah, yeah, it's
Hmm.
big, big.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
Well,
people don't even know what their stress triggers are.
that's true. That's true. Because I know, like, definitely for me, eating is my safe space. And
Yeah.
I think and that's really hard to fight, and also with those the fighting those negative self-talk, because it's like, man, that cake gonna make you feel better. You're just like, no, it ain't, bruh, but maybe for a little bit.
So you just have to find something that's going to replace that cake. Like, okay, if we want cake, let's find another sweet that we like. And usually, when you're craving something sweet, it's a vitamin C deficiency. So you just probably need to substitute it with fruit or parfait, granola with yogurt and blueberries.
Okay.
I'm not
Nice.
saying that you can't have that sweetness. It's just we have to
Mhm.
go about a different way of obtaining it. And we want
Yeah.
to make sure that we're going about a way to make sure it goes with our goals in our diet.
Yeah, I got
Like,
you.
yeah, you're right. That cake will make you feel good, but the way you gonna blow, hold on to that sugar, honey.
Yeah. Because you know that their diabetes is always
Yes,
lingering in my
the
blood and my
sugars.
trying to find the sugars,
Exactly.
honey.
The
Hmm.
sugars.
Well, let me ask you, just kind of because we're getting close to time, but I want to ask you just a couple of other things, just about life and entrepreneurship. Because we talked about you starting the gym, but we're gonna go back a little bit. How long did it get you to get your own gym? And just what are some of the trials and tribulations and also the triumphs that you've had by getting that gym? And what would you say to other people who want to start their own business?
I never thought that I was gonna do brick and mortar just because I watched other gym owners, tongue tied, go through the ups and downs of I need enough clients to pay the bills, I need enough clients to handle rent, I need enough clients to handle overhead and light bills and tissue, and like you don't think about those things until you become a gym owner. Now I gotta have equipment, now I gotta have cleaning supplies, now I gotta make sure I have light bulbs. Like my gym has super dumb high ceilings. I can't just go and switch the bulbs. You know, I have to have like a
Mm-hmm.
ladder and a crane damn near. So the crazy thing is when I decided to go into business for myself, I actually had another trainer who has been a blessing to me, which is It's Golden of CM, the original owner of Control Movements. Thank you, Golden. Um, he was the one who saw how I was trying to build something and offered me the opportunity to start in his gym as an independent contractor. And then after he saw my ability to fill a gym and move a crowd, he was ready to venture off into other aspects and he gave me a gym, a whole gym. And I thank him for that blessing. I thank him for trusting me with Control Movements Calisthenics Gym because it's my thing. And I say that with love because I've trained in this gym. I trained my body. I've trained friends and family in this gym. Like this is my home. So to be able to start and build my brand in my home gym, it was everything. But then again, being a gym owner, like I said, now I gotta take care of the light bulbs and I have to take care of, you know, small things like tissue and supplies and equipment and WD-40 and you gotta pay the rent and then you gotta make sure you do the insurance and you gotta have waivers printed off and you gotta make sure that you have chalk. It's like literally giving yourself another household with your
Mm,
household. So the gym
yeah.
is like my baby,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but then it's like I look at how many people I've been able to service within 1 year and I look at the results of my clients and it's like I get to see my baby grow. You know,
Yeah.
you get to be like, there you go, baby, there you go. And you're watching your toddler like step out into the world. So my triumphs are I get to offer the Black community a safe place to be
Mm-hmm.
themselves, to hear their music, to cuss and to scream and to yell at me and to get out all their demons and to learn how to be one with themselves and not feel like you have the eyes of this person watching you or some other person like you over there struggling like you're never going to lose that. Instead, you're surrounded by people who are like minded, battling the same demons that you are, if not more, who simply just want to win. That
Mm-hmm.
is the greatest triumph in the whole wide world to offer that safe place.
Yeah. And that's
So
amazing
yeah,
because
it's gonna
we
come
don't.
with that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's gonna come with the BS of the small things, but that's
Mhm.
anything in life.
Right. The small things. Because I have to get myself because I was having some issues with just waiting, like waiting for the good parts, you know. Then I'm like, the small things are the good parts. It
They
makes up
are. You got to be able to
all
see
the
them.
big wonderful parts. So you just have to go through them, and it is going to be amazing. And like
Yeah.
I'm just from your energy, I'm just getting charged up, girl. Lift it in the air.
I try. I need you to be there
Yes.
with me. It's nice up here.
Yes. Well, I'm actually in Memphis because like my mom, she's sick, so I'm gonna be here for a little bit, trying to help her get situated. But also, I've been working on my boundaries, so
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
been keeping them
Set those.
tight, right, and protecting those. But I'm definitely gonna have to stop by because I work nights, but I'm definitely gonna have to stop by like on the
Well,
weekend and on
here's the
Thursday.
great thing. Like I tell everyone, I also offer virtual and I travel. I don't have to be
Okay.
locked to a gym. I work for you. The whole point about having with love is to understand that everything that I do is going to be with love. If that means we meet, like, you see how beautiful it is outside right now? I'm at a park.
Mm-hmm.
You think that I can't work you out here on this park bench? I tell people, baby, you can get this work on the side of the road. All I need is you because you're the heaviest thing that I can put in your hands. And if I can teach you how to lift
Mm.
yourself up off the ground, up off the couch, up off your bed, then baby, I can make you invincible damn near.
Oh, girl, I'm gonna have to make sure we send this. That's a sexy line. Make you invincible for sure. Hey.
Thank you, because you are as strong as you think that is mind over matter and everything. So I always tell, especially my moms, especially my people at school, especially people that work at night, you are literally creating a boundary in your flexibility when you say, well, I do this and I work like this and my schedule won't allow it. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Millionaires have the same 24 hours that we have. Why not?
Yeah. It's about
If
prioritizing, and that's something that we've not really been taught how to do, like time management, prioritization, because we'll think
exactly.
everything is important, more important than our actual health, ourselves, and just our own mentality. Because, and that's one thing I feel like with self-care, it requires a level of sacrifice in order to actually take care of yourself. Like you have to sacrifice, like
You
you
have
said, I can't.
it's just called
Exactly.
self-care.
Hmm.
You
Yep,
have
you
to be
have
a little
to.
selfish with yourself. You have to be able to say, no, today is for me. No, I
Hmm.
could, but I'm
It's hours
not.
minutes. Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
Well, I want to
no,
ask you.
I just need this time to myself. Just like, no, I'm good.
I get you. Well, I want to ask you one more question, because we're getting close to time, and I
Yes,
ask
ma'am.
all my wonderful guests, my future cousins, this.
Ew.
Um, ow, ow, ow. When did you fall in love with your blackness?
Oh my God, as a kid. Shit now.
Oh,
Um,
okay. It as a kid.
uh, my mother, okay, back down the rabbit hole we go. Phew.
Okay.
Um, my grandmother's father is white.
Hmm.
So my grandmother's like 80% European. My mother's like 50%. I'm like 25%. Like we did our ancestry. So
Okay.
we're a light-skinned family in North Memphis. And
Hmm.
I was always taught that say it loud, be black and be proud. Because my mother had this silky hair down her back. And here I was born with a different texture.
Hmm.
So for as long as I can remember, the first person I learned about was Madam C.J. Walker.
Mm.
Like, and then
I
it
feel
was
like
Maya Angelou, and then Sidney Poitier, and then Eartha Kitt. So my
hmm
grandmother being a teacher from Mississippi, New Albany, and my grandfather being from Batesville,
mm,
being of light skin, fair coloredness, they could either pass as white or they could stand on their blackness, and they chose to stand on their blackness. They
mm,
are so fair skinned that yes, they could have passed for Caucasian, European, Anglo-Saxon, and they chose to be African American, and that passed right on down to me. And
mm,
I mean, we've always celebrated Juneteenth. My kids know about Juneteenth. My kids understand the importance of us being free and how to celebrate yourself and how to love yourself and love your funky hair and your kinks and your corals. Like they've never had chemicals in their hair. They never freaking will. Um,
mm.
it
Fear.
is it's all about loving the skin that you're in. And my mom taught me that at a very young age because I looked different. I looked different than she did. My father donated a little more blackness to me. So, my skin was darker than my mom's. My hair was different than my mom's. And my mom taught me right away that I was a beautiful black child.
That's beautiful.
So that transferred through my whole life, baby. I'm blackety blackety black black. And no, no, no.
Yes, black on black on black, black.
Black on
Yes,
black, 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 black
black
on black.
on
Yes,
black.
I've always loved my black.
Hmm.
I've
I
always
love
loved
it.
it.
Yes, well, I am. This has been a wonderful conversation. You don't know how much I really need to hear this. It was a rough day, been a rough couple days, but
It's all right. We
yeah,
got this
it's all right.
together.
Yes, but I'm for real though. We definitely gonna have to link in real life because if I had more time, I was like, "What park you at? I come see you, girl. Let's go."
Honey, you say nothing because Mondays are my off days. They are mental Mondays. I take that day
Hmm.
for myself. I drop my children off and then I come home and meditate and I program and I prepare for my week. But you just
Hmm.
say the word and I pull down on you on a Monday in a heartbeat, darling.
Okay, sure. I will let you know because I'm gonna be here for a little bit, and
Ew.
just trying to get back and get some things done with the family, but also take care of myself. But I want to
Exactly.
take this moment just to really thank the fuck out of you for just giving me your time and
No,
just
thank
like
you for
letting
having
me.
me.
Yes, of course, and I would love to have you again, just talking
Hell yes.
more about because I'm going to work with like panels, but also the getting our black bodies moving is so important, and I'm so glad that we have you in that space to help teach us to be better. So thank you so much.
Yes. I'm
Uh,
down. Anytime you want to do anything in the gym, let me know. It's a huge gym. We can always rock out with our cocks out. Do anything you want to do there.
I would love to, but before I let you go, I want you to make sure you tell everybody where they can find you. Find it's. I thought your gym was called With Love, but it's called Control Movement, right?
Yes, the actual physical brick and mortar gym is controlled movements, calisthenics gym.
Mm-hmm.
Calisthenics Gym at
Mm-hmm.
3726 Burden Cove. It's suite number 4. It's going to have a
Mm-hmm.
sign out front. My brand is With Love Fitness, and you can
Mm-hmm.
find that at with.love.fitness at Instagram. My personal page is Miss Corey Baby. They are linked. And you
Mm-hmm.
can also find me on Facebook at Corian, Corian AZ. The A is for my twins, Alexis and Alexandria. The Z is for Zoe. Love. So you'll know it's me if it has the AZ in the middle of it.
Exactly.
And that's everything. And if you go to my Instagram and Facebook pages, my cell phone numbers are there. So you can
Okay.
contact me and set up a consultation, or we can do it via email and or like a message on there, a DM.
Okay. Well, everybody, you know where to find her. Please, please link her because I've seen her evolution and it's been amazing to watch. And I'm so proud to know you. And I'm so thankful that we're going to continue to get to know each other even more in our 30s. But as
Yes.
always, yes. Well, as always, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Please follow Corian and get with her if you're in the Memphis area, or actually, she's virtual. So make sure you
Virtual baby, you
check
can
it
get
out
me
too.
anywhere, baby. Here, we can do this
Yes, let's
everywhere.
get it in the north, south, east, west. Let's go. All
Give
right.
it to
But
me. Let's
Corian,
go.
yes, thank you so much for your time. And as always, everyone, I love you and bye bye.
Bye, guys.